Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another mission guide. This time, Salvage Operation. On a surface level, this isn't too complex. However, there are a few small but very impactful game mechanics going on with this mission type that we should stress. So first of all, stopping by the Miner's Manual, this mission is broken up into 6 steps. First, find the mini-mules. Simply find the mules, scan them, optional, and reattach the legs, and then repair them. That's step 1 and 2, kind of wrapped into one. Next, you'll press the button on the mule and return to the broken drop pod. The next 2 steps will be in a process to fix that broken drop pod so you can use it to get out. This is uplinking to mission control, connecting, and powering fuel cells as well. Once both of those are done, you have to wait a short time while heavy bug pressure is on you before you can actually leave the mission. Now, a couple little nuances of how Salvage Operation works on a piece of paper. Salvage Operation has 2 variants. Both of them scale directly with length and complexity with the amount of mini-mules that you have to fix. 2 mini-mules is 2-2, 3 mini-mules is 3-3. Simple. Now, whenever you repair a mini-mule, you'll actually get some gold and nitra automatically deposited into the bank. This number ranges between 40 and 60 of each mineral. Here's some data I gathered in the past on rolls that I got after repairing 10 mini-mules. In a worst case scenario, you get 80 nitra from 2 mini-mules and 120 from 3 mini-mules. And best case scenario, you get 120 from 2 mini-mules and 180 from 3. And this isn't even considering the fact that if each member of your team gets one single inventory of nitra, that gives you another 160 off the bat. So even by the lowest measurable denomination, you're getting 240 nitra from just fixing 2 mini-mules and each of your team getting 1 bag full of nitra. And that's 3 resupplies, which is generally enough to finish a salvage mission. Of course, random events and other things can affect this heavily. And lastly, something I often forget about is you can actually find broken resupplies on salvage missions. These are most easily noticed if you look for the vertical shafts that they fell down on the terrain scanner. If you go directly beneath the shaft, you can find a broken resupply pod. After taking a while to hold the button to repair it, you can either get 0, 1, or 2 blocks of ammo. In this case I got 2, but I find more often than not you get 1 or none. Personally, I don't like to take the time to repair them very often, but if you're desperate for ammo, keep that in mind. Now let's go over the general flow of a salvage mission. The cave generation for salvage mission is some of the simplest in the game. You'll start in a simple spawn room that will have a dirt wall connecting you to the main cave. Once you get to the main cave, it will largely contain all of the mules and nitra and other things you might need to complete the mission. Sometimes there are dirt walls leading off of the main cave, but they always wrap back around the main cave itself. Entering the main cave of a salvage operation can be quite dangerous, as with random events, things like corelocks and prospectors will get aggroed very quickly if you're not watching your fire. But moving on to the main objective, mini-mules. The first time that you approach a mini-mule, it will trigger an unannounced wave that will usually attack you 10 to 20 seconds after you approach the mule. So be cognizant of where you're running whenever you're already fighting bugs. If you run near a mini-mule, you might get even more on you. Once you've dealt with that, you can approach and scan the mini-mule. This will make all of the missing legs pulsate and appear on the terrain scanner. Every mini-mule generates with 4 legs in close proximity to it. It's generally a good idea to make sure you're pulling the legs that spawn near a specific mini-mule, and so you don't have to carry them further if you take one to the wrong mule. Additionally, one of the 4 legs will trigger a small swarm whenever it's pulled out of the ground, also 10 to 20 seconds afterwards. Now you might notice that one leg is already on each mini-mule. This isn't a visual glitch. Each mule spawns with 4 legs around it, but already has one attached. This means the 4th leg is not necessary to fix the mini-mule. So due to this fact, there's 4 legs to pull, only one of them triggers a swarm, and you only need 3 to fix the mini-mule. You should always try to only pull the 3 legs that you need, because that way you have a chance of not actually triggering a swarm. Here's an example of doing some very poor decision making with running around, pulling a bunch of legs, and approaching 2 mules in very rapid succession. As you can see, this spawns quite a few bugs, even for solo play. This was played on Has 5, of course, but still, this is quite a few bugs. so have some situational awareness, kids. Don't run near mules. That aside, once you complete your second or third mule, depending on the mission requirements, you'll be able to press the button on your main mule. This will send it and all the mini mules back to the drop pod. Once the first one connects, you'll be able to approach and repair the uplink. Once the uplink is fully repaired, it will erect a giant green bubble that you have to stay inside of to complete the uplink sequence. This will also spawn quite a few bugs, so be ready for a fight. Depending on the amount of players in the game, there will be a different number of arrows. For every player in the zone, it makes it progress faster, so you should always stay inside the zone. If at any point all members of the team are out of the zone, progress will begin to be lost. If progress depletes completely, the mission will instantly fail, so do everything in your power to keep all 4 players inside the zone. Once the uplink is complete, a fuel cell will drop in nearby. This is usually in a pretty poor location if the terrain isn't even, so have a driller or engineer ready to go to patch up the terrain. Once it lands, you'll have to run out a fuel pipeline to go to the drop pod. This is similar to the way that placing pipes on refinery works, however you don't have to build each segment, so make them as short or as equally placed as you'd like. There's no harm. And once it's connected to the drop pod, return to the fuel cells and repair it just like the uplink. And now the process begins again. Stay in the zone and defend it. But like I said, this terrain is a little bit more unpleasant than where the uplink was, so flattening it out or building more ground with the platform guns is always a good idea. Once you finish charging the fuel cells, you will have to wait 1 minute and 30 seconds for the drop pod doors to open. A lot of bugs will spawn in this window of time, so if you can just run around in circles around the cave, that's usually the best play. But obviously, once the pod doors open, you'll have 1 minute to get inside, the shortest of any mission type, and then the mission will be over, and you've won. So that's about it for Salvage. But there is one more thing. Something I'm not going to go into great detail here is bunkering. There's a lot to be said about bunkering, whether you like it or don't, and the effectiveness of the strategy no matter which side you're on, but I'm not going to get into that whole issue right now. If you're going to build bunkers, know how to build them, and know how to build them right. Drilling in the Name of made a great video on how to build good bunkers that are both survivable and make the rest of your team happy. But my TLDR to give you in this video about bunkers is if you aren't the host, ask before you do it, and if you are the host, don't be surprised if people are upset when you bunker. In the process of making this video and thinking about this segment, it made me actually want to make a whole video on bunkers, which I think I definitely will, because they're very interesting and have a lot of nuance that deserves to be talked about, even if I don't personally enjoy them. But that's about all I have for you today. As always, thank you for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream over on Twitch. If you'd like to talk to me or my community about how on Has 3 and above, if a bulk detonator spawns, you instantly lose the uplink, you can talk to us over on Discord. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.